Hello and welcome to another episode of Vibing with Christine. I am your hostess with the mostest, Christine. Today I want to talk about being the light. What do I mean by that? There's a lot of crazy, bad things going on in the world right now. People have lost their jobs. People have lost their willpower. People have lost their lives. So generally, I'm very observant. And in talking with people, everybody has the general mindset of this really sucks. What can I do? Well, collectively, we're all going through this together. So stay tuned. But there's always the light at the end of the rainbow. So I'm saying to be the light. How? How do you be the light? Well, there's a number of ways that I personally do it, which I am here to share with you. I listen to a number of motivational videos, speakers, podcasts. I listen to positive affirmations. I say them to myself, because constantly when you say the words I am, you are attracting that to yourself. They call it spelling. You're speaking it into existence. So be mindful of how you speak about yourself, how you speak to other people, because you're constantly in a state of karma and you want to always try to attract goodness to yourself. So I strive to be in a state of positivity. Now, let's get this straight. I am not Susie Sunshine 24/7. I have my moods. I have my bad days. There's times where I beat myself up. I'm very overly critical and judgmental of myself. I can tear myself down faster than nobody's business. But when I notice myself doing that, I press the stop button, the reset button, and I think to myself, which I am imploring you guys to do the same, to list all the wonderful attributions and qualities and talents that you might have, the gifts that you have been given from birth. What are those qualities that you have? List them down, write them down, because it's much easier to tear yourself down than it is to lift yourself up, because we have programmed ourselves to do that. We have learned that from the earliest state, that negative talk. So you may not realize this, but there's negative talk going on in here, this chitter chatter all the time. So how do you change that? You have to learn how to reprogram your mind. I call it, can I say this? I'm going to say it. I'm sorry, I'm cursing. I call it unfucking yourself. Go unfuck yourself. Sorry for any kids who are listening to this, but this is some life advice. How do you yourself? By listening to motivational speaking, to listening to positive affirmations. You have to, so you've been programmed your whole life to have this negative talk. So now you have to reprogram yourself. And how you reprogram yourself is by listening to motivational speaking. You find someone who you enjoy listening to, whether it be, one of my personal favorites, I know it sounds weird, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is amazing. He is so inspirational. He makes me aspire to reach for the stars, the moon, into the next galaxy, because how he thinks is, if you see it and believe it, it's yours. And look at the model of his life. Look up Arnold. He's super interesting. My hero. Tony Robbins, another hero of mine. Like, he can bring me to tears. He's so beautiful. He tells you to take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for your life. Life is a response, and you have to take responsibility. And how you do that is by seeking out these audio tapes or these reading books that can fill your mind and make you strive for something that you thought you didn't have, because everybody has a story that's stopping them. Everybody has something from their past that limits them, that they believe it to be true. And once you start to reprogram yourself through repetition, daily repetitions of these positive affirmations and listening to these motivational speakers, you begin to believe it for yourself. And belief is the first step. I've been saying it. You have to believe in yourself. Even if no one believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to be the biggest cheerleader for yourself. You have to reach down deep inside and search for that light. And once you find that light, you just, or flick it up, I don't know, and you start shining it. And people are going to say, wow, look at them. They seem so happy. They seem positive. They look good. Maybe they're starting to feel good. And you start to think to yourself, like, I want some of that too. And you can have that. It is very possible, but you have to do the work. Now, reprogramming yourself is about repetition. The things that you do, the habits that you do daily dictate your life. So when you are habitual about being positive, it starts becoming second nature. Now, I always have the analogy about exercise. I apologize, it's the first thing that always comes to my mind. But how do you get a muscle? You can't do it one time. You can't do it 2 times. You got to do it every day. 3-4 times a week. I don't know what your exercise regimen is, but it is a muscle. You have to develop it. You have to be consistent with it. So when I feel that I'm backsliding because I have taken a break and I am in this negative headspace of being very critical and judgmental or putting myself down, I have to press the reset button and go back and remember what it is that I have that I can give. Now, when you have this light in you, it starts to shine, and you can shine that light out into others. This is where I'm telling you guys not to be selfish. This is the selfless part of the speech. You have to learn how to encourage other people too and shine the light out on them, because there's so many things that you can say to a person that's super critical and to tear them down. But you shouldn't aim to tear people down. You should aim to lift people up. Highlight their qualities, because it could be something that you say to that one person that can change their life around. You can help them. Like, aspire to be around inspirational and aspirational people, because you become like the 5 people that you are closest to. I personally strive to be around very inspirational, aspirational people, if not physically, through social media, through the books I read, through the resources that I intake. I search for positivity. And you know, if you have someone who can show you the way, that's great. A mentor is fantastic, but you know, if not, there's a million resources out there, like I mentioned. And then once you start to shine your light, you take your hand and you put it behind you and you lift somebody else up. It's a chain effect. It's a domino effect. It starts, maybe that person will lift somebody else up, and then collectively we can all raise our vibration up, because you have to be selfless with your love. Love is the greatest power that there is, and if you can spread joy and happiness and some encouragement to somebody, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. It's the most beautiful thing. It's very rewarding. When you see the light go off in somebody and you see the little spark that starts to fire up in somebody, and you know that you did that. That's one of my favorite things to do in the whole wide world. So be the light, shine it, because there's so much darkness in the world. So be the light. And on another note, when you are doing that, you're crossing off a number of universal laws. The law of giving and receiving. If you give that light out, you're going to receive it back. It's the law of reciprocation. It's going to come back to you. I believe in karma. It's going to come back to you. And I only want good karma coming back to me. I want to live a good life where people are happy around me. I like to spread joy. I like joy given back to me. Who doesn't like that? So thank you guys so much. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to write it down below. I love hearing from you guys, and make sure that you give this video a like, and I will be seeing you very soon. Peace.